Is Nintendo planning on releasing a brand new Switch?
The rumors are in, but can it be true?
Hot take. We have had tons of discussions about the concept of a brand new Nintendo Switch coming out. Everyone's been on board about wanting a new Switch.
And then we got one.
And then we got one, which was the Switch Lite. And it was cool. I like it. I think I like the look of it and everything. But there was one thing that the Switch Lite was missing that people were a little upset about: the ability to dock it.
Yes, HDMI and just having it on a TV screen. Having it as a mobile console is great. And for a lot of people that use the Switch for that purpose, the Switch Lite offers that ability at a cheaper cost. It's great.
It's in the name.
But for those of us who don't like always either game on the go or what have you, who like to be able to hook up your console to the screen, who like to be able to just dock the Switch and pick up like a Pro Controller or something and play it that way, the Switch Lite does nothing for me.
Yeah.
They look nice. They come in pretty colors.
And I think that's the problem, right? And then the name of the Switch implies you can switch it from portable to home mode. So having the Switch Lite kind of messes up that name there. But according to the rumors we've heard, it's about to get way worse. All right. So Switch 2 or Switch Pro is what this is being called.
Or the new Switch, or
the new
however Nintendo is going to name things.
Like, I imagine it's going to be similar to the style of new 3DS. If the new 3DS lost features to make it itself a little bit more powerful. It's kind of weird.
Yes. So the Switch Pro, or we're just going to call it the Switch Pro for the purposes of this video, because that makes a lot more sense. So that's supposed to be coming out potentially in 2021.
Yes.
Which would place it as a release following Microsoft's Scarlet and also Sony's PS5.
So there's a reason to do that, because if those systems are coming out and they're going to be a lot more powerful, you need to release something that can kind of compete with them slightly. I mean, we're not talking, from all the specs we're hearing, we're not talking like this system is going to be more powerful or as powerful as those systems.
No.
It's likely just
Nintendo's given up on that.
Yeah. We're probably looking at something that is just going to be a little bit more powerful. So if this is all to be true, okay, there are some specs that have been revealed on the rumor. Now, this original rumor, by the way, came out from Inverse.com, and the rumor originally came from an image board known as 4chan. Now, there have been rumors that have come out from 4chan in the past that have actually been true. And this person that has leaked this information apparently has had information in the past be real. A lot of information has come out off of like weird sources. Sometimes you can't trust them, but some stuff that's been talked about Nintendo in the past ended up being real. A lot of the Nintendo Switch Lite rumors came out from image boards and people sharing images. And everyone said, all that stuff is fake. And then it ended up being real.
And it's not like these rumors are out of the realm of possibility. There's a lot of like legitimate business reasons why this would be a good move.
Absolutely.
Potentially not for 2021. It seems a little weird that these rumors are coming out this early for something that was so far in advance. But you never know.
You never know. So, the specs are as follows. Now, apparently the Nintendo Switch 2 or Pro or whatever they're going to call it, we'll call it Pro for now, is going to be 4K compliant or actually feature 4K support. That doesn't mean that every game on it is going to run at 4K. That just means it has the ability to run at 4K.
Because that would be a little weird though. Like it would be a little weird as long as or more so for new games coming out, that's fine.
Yes.
But if you're still calling it the Switch, then that means every game that has ever come out on the Switch will be able to play on the new Switch Pro.
That's true.
So that goes back to like Breath of the Wild. Will Breath of the Wild be in 4K? How will it look better in 4K?
And that's the thing. We have seen that Nintendo has been willing to work with their older games that they have released in the past to kind of fix them to make them work on different variations of the hardware. So if that's the case, will old games like Breath of the Wild now be in 4K? Now, let's be fair. Breath of the Wild is a fantastic, beautiful looking game. It definitely isn't running at the best specs it possibly could be running at.
No.
So I don't think we're going to see that running at 4K, but maybe it will run at a solid 1080p at 60 frames per second.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. But we don't know 100% for certain on that. It's just something that could happen. Now, another thing that is being rumored is they're going to have double the storage. I don't care if you think this rumor is fake or whatever, it has to happen. Nintendo needs to increase the storage on the Switch. Look, I've talked about this in the past. Having micro SD card support, being able to throw it into the Switch and expand your memory is a great, cheap solution that no other company is really offering when it comes to their consoles. But when it comes to what's actually in the Switch, there are consumers out there that will not buy micro SD cards. Nintendo has not really made the best method possible to have games switch from one Switch to the next if you have two. So they need to make sure that the internal Switch support on here makes a lot more sense. Now, the rumor isn't just flash memory, it's solid state.
Ooh.
That's a big deal. Solid state can be much cheaper. In some cases, it can be a little bit more expensive. It's a really weird variety, but...
That was part of the rumors for the PS5 as well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Solid state, in my mind, makes sense because apparently this thing is only going to be docked. That means it's not going to have a screen, most likely. It's not going to be able to move around with you wherever you go unless you have a TV near you wherever you're going to be going. So a completely docked Switch that never actually gets removed from the dock. Basically, it's a video game console. I mean, that's what they're basically saying here, right?
And just like having the more storage makes a lot more sense because there's a lot of, like, even just in the realm of DLC and Nintendo, there's a lot of DLC you can't get on disc. You can't get in cartridge.
True. Yep.
Because like they use cartridges, not discs. I'm just having brain moments.
Pretty much.
Like, if you buy Nintendo games, first-party Nintendo games now, there's all of their DLC is all online only, and that all needs to go on the Switch. So really, there's only enough room for what? 2-3 games worth of stuff on your Switch, and then you constantly have to delete it and re-download it, and
it gets pretty messy. And you know, I know that a lot of people out there are just like, well, the games, they just read off the cartridges completely. That's not always the case. There's a lot of games that kind of install a lot of stuff onto the Switch. So I find myself juggling through games quite frequently. And you know, that's a benefit to Nintendo. That's actually a gold star for them. There have been a bunch of games on the Switch I don't want to miss. So of course I'm juggling it a lot more. On the Xbox One, you have a lot. I got a lot of games. On the PlayStation 4, I juggle a little bit more, but on the Switch, because of just the rate of good games coming out on there straight from Nintendo, I'm more likely to be juggling on there. More
even
space
in more
would be
just
better.
third party as well. There's plenty of really nice games that have been on Switch that are still coming out on Switch. It has a good library.
Yes, it does, and indie games especially. There's a whole bunch of indie games that come out on a bunch of different platforms. But if you were to ask me the choice of playing an indie game that's going to look exactly the same way on an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch, I'm gonna choose it on the Switch. I want to take that game wherever I go. It just makes a lot more sense as a consumer where I want to play the game.
So then the theory I have is prior to the Switch coming out, Nintendo had 2 major consoles that they were trying to sell in 2 separate markets. They had the Wii U and the Wii, and then they also had the 3DS. Now, both of those got scrapped because they both combined into the Switch, because the Switch could be like the 3DS and be a successor in that way because you can take it wherever you go, but then it could also dock to the TV and be a successor to the Wii and the Wii U. Do you think, potentially, that with this new Switch Pro, they're trying to phase out the original Switch and instead have the Switch Lite be the successor to the 3DS and the Switch Pro be the home console successor?
You know, I think from the rumors we've read, they're going to keep all 3 on the market at the same time. So another part of this rumor is that it's going to be able to play original Switch games, as you would assume, but it's also going to have Switch 2 or Switch Pro games. That means
didn't the 3DS do that at one point?
Yes, it did.
It was was it the new 3DS or the 3DSi?
The new 3DS. There were 3DS i games that like utilized certain features on there, but it wasn't a lot. But the new 3DS legitimately had games you could only play on the new 3DS. So what we're looking at here is certain titles utilizing those features. This rumor is something I think through the phone communication system of all this stuff, I think it got a little bit mixed. I could not see Nintendo willingly doing this. I could see them go, you buy a game, you play it on the system, it's going to look better. But I can't see them releasing a game that wouldn't work on the Switch Lite. Or the original Switch, for that matter. I think that people want to have that middle ground. And for those people, you're going to have the Switch. If you just want it portable, you got the Switch Lite. And for people that don't care about the portability, getting the Pro or the Switch 2 or whatever it's going to be makes a lot of sense. Now, with that in mind, that's where the price comes in. And the rumor is that the Switch Pro is going to be $100 more than the current Switch, so that you basically have Three models. The cheapest model is the Switch Lite,
Mm-hmm.
the middle ground is the Switch, and the most expensive one is the one you can't take it anywhere because it has the most expensive components inside.
But at the same time, that almost feels a little weird to me because I would have thought to get the quality of hardware that they wanted into a portable form factor, that would have been the most expensive. But instead, it's the cheapest.
Yeah, because you think about it, they're removing a screen, they're removing all of that functionality. Apparently, all your old devices and hardware will work with this. But when that rumor came out, there's a little bit of a thing to that. I imagine Amiibo isn't going to work. Or sorry, Amiibo will.
Yeah.
Labo likely won't work with this anymore. But
Well, no, because
controllers and stuff.
Labo needs the screen. So if they're
Yes.
getting rid of the screen, Labo's not going to work with the Pro.
But like controllers, any kind of accessories like that.
Anything that just connects to it makes a lot of sense. And then they'll never get rid of the Amiibo support because a lot of that is built into most of their controllers now.
Of course,
so.
and they keep selling toys. Why would they not want to keep doing that?
Yeah,
right?
pretty much.
So the idea of what a Switch Pro could be, this is exciting for me. When we're getting into the next system with the next console generation with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 2 or the Scarlet, whatever they end up calling that, I believe firmly that, to make a console compete with them, you have to have something that's just a little bit more powerful. But that being said, there's going to be a lot of developers out there that are making games specifically for those systems that are not going to transfer back to the Switch. And I mean, we're already seeing that. Look, Witcher 3 surprised a lot of people. I think no one was expecting that to come out. I mean, you played Witcher 3. Did you ever think that could actually be on Switch?
No.
Here we are.
At least not in the quality that I normally play on PC. Because I played Witcher 3 on PC, so I did not assume that quality would go to the Switch. And to be fair, I've never played the Switch version of Witcher 3, so I don't actually know how the graphics compare in Witcher 3 on the Switch.
I've never played it myself. I've seen the comparisons. It definitely is a step down, but at the same time,
it'd have to be.
It'd have to be, and it's portable. That's cool.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing companies like Rockstar take their games and transfer them over, or big titles like that. There are definitely games that are far more customizable, like Fortnite, that did come down. But I remember early days on the Switch having this big conversation with people saying, look, you're not going to see the Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Switch. You're just not going to.
But we do see things like Skyrim. We have seen things like Witcher coming out. But I don't think we're going to be seeing things like whatever the next big Bethesda game is coming out. I don't think that's going to go out on Switch. And I definitely don't see Cyberpunk coming out on the Switch.
Yeah, it's just...
Unless that has been announced and I missed that for some reason.
I don't think it did.
Yeah.
There have been so many different games that have gone into development that just require so much energy and power. And that's only going to get worse when the next generation of systems come out. I mean, you and I had a video recently where we talked about real-time ray tracing.
Yes, we did.
That is a big feature. And if you turn off, suddenly that game can run at a higher frame rate and a better resolution. But the moment you turn it on, it taxes a system. If someone designs a game utilizing those expensive or power cost features, that game cannot be played without it in mind. That's not going to be the case for everything, right? No. But that might be the case for many games in the future. So what we're looking at here is a system that likely is just going to play Switch games, portable games in mind, better. And I think that's fine.
Yeah.
We've been playing a lot of Legend of Zelda. I beat it recently. You're still playing it, so
I'm
I can't spoil
playing
it.
I'm still playing it.
And that game has aliasing artifacts.
Yes, it does.
And I mean, those aliasing artifacts, for those of you that don't know, basically on the corner of 3D models and stuff, you'll see like little jaggy sprites and stuff. Not really sprites, but like model work. And that's because the game isn't being rendered at like such a high resolution, and they're not implementing any kind of anti-aliasing feature because they need the game to run at the highest frame rate possible. But even then, the game still runs at lower frame rates and shifts around a little bit more. It's still a beautiful looking game. It's still fantastic. But you're looking at games that are already pushing the Switch to its maximum abilities. Getting a Pro version out there means that you're going to get games that are going to look as good as Nintendo can possibly make them. That's why I like this. But do you think you're going to get one if it comes out?
Depends. Because that's what I want it for, and that's why I'm not getting a Switch Lite, because I want a Switch that I can hook up to my TV. So that's why the Switch Lite has like no appeal to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
But if they come out with a Switch Pro and they're like, yeah, it might be a little bit more expensive, but it can do all these other things and it's specifically designed for the thing that you want, then yeah, I might save for that and get that instead.
Yeah, I mean, for the Pro for me, I'm not against it. I think I would. I honestly think I'd purchase one because I want the. I like to play games at home. I like to play them on the big screen. Legend of Zelda can be a portable game.
Yes.
You know, I more or less Link's Awakening, that it was originally a portable game, so it makes sense to play it on the Switch portably. But Breath of the Wild to me feels like an experience I want to play at home and explore that world. And I don't want those little chunks of playing it all over. I mean, you can do that, but for me, those games seem to work better. So because of that, I really, really want this Pro system to exist. I want it to have 4K. I want it to be able to perform better than the other systems. But I think it needs more space. Even the rumored storage of 64 gigs is still not enough. 64 is funny because, Nintendo 64. But it's like I want there to be far more. I want to be able to
over
download.
120 or 256 or something.
Like, I mean, I know a lot of people are still into the physical collecting of games, and I still want that to be there. But they're talking about a new cartridge format that's going to be able to store these Switch 2 games or Switch Pro games. If that's the case, fine. But I think for Nintendo to be successful here, these games that are coming out need to work across all their systems, because if you're going to limit games coming out on just this Pro console, that's going to cause a lot of problems. How many people out there that already bought a Switch are not going to know about there being this Pro version? They go out and buy this game and it doesn't work on the Switch that they already own. Especially, like, what if you just bought a Switch Lite and in 2 years or a year and a half, they release a game that works on this new hardware that doesn't work on the thing you just bought.
Yep.
That's nuts to me. I don't think they should be able to do that.
And maybe that's why there is such a big delay, because the Switch Lite just came out, and this Pro is probably not going to come out until 2021?
Yeah.
So that's like a 2 or 3 year gap. People replace phones in about that length of time.
That's about right. But I don't know. I'm hoping that we're seeing this more like a 0.5 upgrade, not a full sequel to the Switch, because when you do that, I think that the portable version of the Switch needs to move up as well. So they're doing here,
we're not looking at a Wii U scenario.
I don't think we're looking at that. I hope we're not looking at a Wii U scenario, but let's see what happens. So would you get it?
Yes.
I think I would. But folks, would you? Let us know what you think in the comments below.